Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about a situation that I came across on TikTok. That's where I find a lot of these wild and dramatic scenarios. It is a cesspool on there. People literally just get on there and say stuff that could have been an email, could have been handled in court, or they could have just kept to themselves, quite honestly. But we're going to be talking about the Brett Farley. I'm not really quite sure, and I don't know if I care how to pronounce his last name. And also, we're going to mention somebody who goes by Nurse Hadley on TikTok. They're in a relationship together. And then there's the matter of a child and the woman who created said child. So let's hear the situation first from Brett himself.
This is the story of me agreeing to get an older woman pregnant and then her trying to ruin my life. When I was 23, I had a one-night stand with a girl from my hometown named. We both knew it was nothing more than that, and we didn't speak after. Several months later, I received a text from her saying that she hadn't been lucky in love and she wanted a baby before it was too late. So she asked if I would get her pregnant and I wouldn't have to bear any responsibility, like a sperm donor. I considered it and I first thought no, but after some time to think about it, I thought it'd be the right thing to do for someone struggling. So we filled out an ironclad agreement and basically I wouldn't be responsible at all. A while later she told me she was ovulating, and then a few weeks after that she told me she was pregnant and it had worked.
Right away, I don't buy that. It was the right thing to do for someone struggling. She's not a charity case. And I think really if she wanted to find someone and have no contact with them, there's got to be some other sneakier, more conniving, or just go to a sperm bank way of accomplishing that. I don't for a second believe this part to like its fullest. There might be hidden truths here in his story, but right away I'm like, an older woman. What is she, 50? What do you mean older woman? Automatically putting her down because why would her being older be important to the story? It's kind of like when Bree Powers mentions that this man is gay or that these bonnets aren't just for black people. It's like, okay, okay. Just dropping random information that to me, it's giving negativity bias. It's giving, we're hopping on the internet for the wrong reasons. And this does involve a child, but it doesn't go to the ways of abuse or anything like that. So I did feel comfortable talking about this situation because people need to stop bringing their dirty laundry or shit they don't like for whatever reason to the internet when it's not the place to handle it. That should be an absolutely last resort. And if it involves a child, not on the internet, really, in most cases. And an ironclad agreement, was that a legal document? Or did you guys have like a text conversation? Because if you fertilize a woman's egg, you are giving, the way I see it, you're giving her the right to do with that whatever she pleases. Even if there is any sort of agreement, you are giving it to another person that you can't make someone have a baby or not have a baby. Like that's not appropriate. So please take some accountability and some ownership over what you do with your baby gravy.
I went back to California for work and we didn't speak after that.
Who cares? If you don't want any responsibility, who gives a fuck? Why should you be speaking to her? If it really is what you said, and we don't know that much, but if it really is what you said, who gives a shit?
Unbeknownst to me, she contacted my family behind my back and invited them to the baby shower. They then began getting dinner or whatever regularly, and as she got to know my parents.
If that's true, yeah, that is a little weird to go behind the back of the person who gave you the ingredient to bake a cake with. That is a little weird.
My parents started encouraging me to be in the baby's life, and once I found out it was a little girl, I thought it was the right thing to do.
Because it was the right thing to do or because you wanted to? Like, did you genuinely decide, you know what, I think maybe I do want to be a father? In which case, you went against your own agreement. I'm not saying whether doing that is right or wrong. I'm just saying you went against the agreement.
I flew home to be there for the birth, and I got a tattoo of our daughter's middle name before she was born. After our daughter was born, I wanted us to be together and be a family. And when I said I didn't want to do that, she wouldn't let me see my daughter.
Okay, so we're gonna read the next stuff on here. The baby and I need to stay in your house for like 2 months until I can get our own place and so that I can save a little more. I'm taking a position remote, which comes with a huge pay cut, but I won't have to put our daughter in daycare. Looks like we're closing this property on June 9th in whatever that says. So I'm hoping to be packed up and out of my apartment the weekend prior to the 9th. I'll put all of my stuff in storage except our clothes. Can we stay there? It looks like he didn't respond. So she said, kind of important. You respond, and then, says he's ignoring her. And there might have been phone calls. I really don't know. And he also could have deleted the messages to make her look crazy. I think that's important to note because anytime a male jumps on the internet to have some sort of um, negativity spree about a woman, especially when there's a child involved, I'm putting my walls up immediately. So I want to leave space for that, even if she's doing everything he has accused her of. I do want to leave room for that because we are not these people. Do not go find these people and interact with them either. Thank you.
My main source of income at the time was the Airbnb that I owned. And she said this a few months after she was born. I felt bad, so I let her move in for several months, rent free. Once she moved out, she told me this.
I don't know. I can't say that's the way I think the situation should have been spoken about. Like, I let her live here rent free. Well, she just had your baby, so if that's the timeline. Again, he's not saying how old the kid is. So if she's postpartum, then that's the right thing to do. You don't get to look at it in this negative way. You gave someone an ingredient. You both violated the agreement that you made, and now you are going to be a part of her life. So I do think to a degree, especially when a woman is postpartum, yes, I do think it is your responsibility because you are not putting your life on the line. And almost 10 times out of 10, males don't know how to support their pregnant partners, right? Especially when it's their first kid. Like, what did that comedian say? She wants a man that's pre yelled at. Yeah, because you're probably not that supportive. You're probably not doing anything to the extent I think that pregnant and postpartum women should be treated. And then again, I have high standards, but I'm going to assume he probably didn't do any of that. And he probably feels like room and board and watching his kids sometimes is Father's Year. That's the vibe I get. If I'm wrong, it's okay. I'm okay with being wrong. That's just the vibe I get.
I've never done anything to warrant supervised visits, but I agreed to keep the peace. I would come home as often as I could to see our daughter, and things were usually okay when I was there.
Okay, so it looks like maybe she did end up having to go into daycare, and that sucks if that's not what the mom wanted, and she wanted that remote position so she could be home. That does suck.
These are all from her Facebook. One Halloween, I didn't want to wear matching costumes with Maria, so she wouldn't let me see my daughter for a while. And when our daughter was being
I don't buy that. I don't believe that at all. I don't believe that for a hot second that she was like, oh, you don't want her matching costumes? You don't get to see her. I don't believe that for a fucking second. For a fucking second. And on that one, no, I will not be explaining further. And I'm going to call bullshit right there.
baptized, I drove a 14-hour round trip from Nashville to attend. And because I didn't want to see the night before, she didn't allow me to come to the baptism at all. Soon after this, she served me with child support, saying that our original contract wasn't valid because our daughter didn't have a social security number yet. And I didn't fight her on it. I didn't have the time. I was living away.
Right. Well, you know what? If you make a baby with someone and you're not watching them like equal time or however childcare and child support is all working in the state that you live in, yeah. Yeah, I would think if you guys aren't together, child support is probably warranted if she has the child a majority of the time. Yeah.
ended up paying her $10,000 up front and $750 a month. I was able to.
Yeah, as you should, because I'm going to go ahead and assume that, okay, I'm not saying that amount is what's exactly necessary, or warranted for the situation because we are not these people. We don't know their situation, and every situation is different. But what does that say more about your judgment and your lack of accountability and your lack of ownership? Throwing money at people does not change the fact that she literally put her life on the line to bring a baby into this world. Did quite literally all the work, and 10 times out of 10, women, for better or for worse, for multitude of reasons, will end up doing a majority of the labor, like for that first year. And I'm not saying that's bad or good. I wanted that. I wanted that. So I'm completely fine with that. But that doesn't mean that there aren't things that whoever is the sperm donee should not be doing. Like they're not excused from attempting to pull as much effort, not putting your life on the line. A male could never in the way a woman can and brings children into this world. So,
moved home soon after that, and I began seeing our daughter regularly. Everything was going really well until I got a girlfriend. Even though she had a boyfriend who was regularly around our daughter, she said that my girlfriend couldn't be around our daughter. I was able to get our daughter for an afternoon, and that's what I was doing.
yeah, well, if it's not serious, yeah, I think people are way too willy-nilly sparking new relationships when the person you had a kid with is like a year out. I'm sorry, I don't think either party should be doing that. The woman needs to heal and get her mental into a right place. And I think the male needs to do some personal growth and a serious and hefty amount of that. And I'm saying even if she did everything he's accusing of, I still think he has a lot of work to do on himself because he is posting pictures of the child on there, and I don't think that's correct. I know people are gonna. I don't think you should be doing it, especially in this sort of situation. So, parts of this are going to be blurred, and that's why. And also, you jump to the internet for what? There is absolutely no reason that I've seen for him to jump to the internet on this. To me, it's giving seeking validation from women. That's just the vibe I get. I'm not saying that's what he's doing, and I'm not saying those are his intentions. I'm just saying that is what I'm getting from this video because there is no reason for him to make it that I have seen so far.
I was with my girlfriend, and we were at Lowe's together.
And if it's not that serious, no, you shouldn't be bringing her. Even if she is considered a girlfriend, you should not just bring her around your kid. Absolutely fucking not. It should be bordering on getting engaged before you bring that person around your child as something significant, I guess. Like, I think if there was like a situation where you're having a little get together at your house and maybe you introduce her as a friend or something less aggressive, even though she's a little bitty baby, same rules apply. Instill them now so you have the rules to follow in the future. All right. We're not bringing new people in a relationshipy way around the baby. You don't know them, and therefore they don't need to be around your kid.
Freaked out. I said I'd bring her daughter back to her as soon as we were done, but instead drove to Lowe's. Apparently called my dad and was running up and down the aisle screaming. I don't know what actually happened, but she was freaking out, just blowing up my phone, thinking she was in danger. And keep in mind, my girlfriend is a mom as well as a nurse. Our daughter...
I hate to be that guy, but if there's someone that you don't know around your kid, especially as the mother, they're a danger until they're proven otherwise. I hate to be that guy, but you are not like guilty until proven innocent, but that same kind of line of thinking, because I quite literally would not give a flying fuck what proximity someone is to the person that you make a kid with. If you don't know them and they're not approved, no, I don't think that they should be around the kid. And I don't think there should be a lot of pushback. What's with the desire to expose your child to someone that the other person isn't comfortable around yet or ever? Like, why do you want to get your kid around a new person? Like, unless you're going to get married to them. Really, really dissect why that is.
Was never in any danger. When I offered and my girlfriend to get to know each other so they'd be comfortable, my daughter being around.
Was this before or after the Lowe's situation or Home Depot, whatever?
She immediately said no and called my girlfriend a word that rhymes with chore and refused to get to know her.
Well, you shouldn't call people names like that when you have no reason to.
Then made a public post saying that I was a deadbeat dad and that I hadn't seen our daughter in weeks. Here I am with our daughter just a few days prior to this post. I also left my best friend's bachelor.
Yeah, these screenshots of allegedly this is stuff that she put on Facebook. This should not be on the internet. And it looks like these were public at the time. Absolutely not. Absolutely. The internet is not the place for stuff like this. Call your friends. Call your mom and give it a good bitch session, but do not take this to the internet.
Already a day early so I could be home for Father's Day, and she still wouldn't allow me to see her. She even said this to my grandmother. She had her friend.
Also, if all these screenshots are true, I would like to know her side. It doesn't look like she's coming out and saying anything. And I think most of her stuff is, I think all of her stuff is private right now. But whenever I hear a man say, she won't let me see my kids, I'm like, I'm immediately curious as to what happened.
Comment mean things on my girlfriend's social media multiple times, even though my girlfriend has never been anything but nice. Because tends to do this, I want to make sure that she doesn't twist the story and make it seem like I abandoned our daughter. I recently found out that our daughter isn't mine. I don't know who the dad is, but I've had 2 paternity tests done, and they both say this. I believed when she told me that.
And it looks like this test was done, I think that says June 10th of this year. I think that's what it says. It's a little blurry on this video. Which also he has since taken it off his account. I found this on YouTube because like a dumb, I didn't save it when I first came across it.
I was the only possible father. The situation was weird, but I was always happy to be a dad. I knew that already knew she was pregnant. She had to have when she asked me to get her pregnant. I didn't think that was something that someone would lie.
Right. And if this is true that, and maybe she genuinely thought it was his, I'm not sure on that. If she did lie about it, that is absolutely disgusting and wrong and horrific. And if he's not the dad, I hope that she finds out who is and can be honest about the situation. If that's the right thing to do. I go back and forth on a lot of things like this, and I think it's a very hairy situation, and I think it's disgusting and wrong that it even involves a child in any capacity.
About to another human being. Not only to me, but my entire family as well. Everybody's distraught about this. I allowed you to paint me as the villain and you as the victim for years to keep peace, but I hope you know that the only victim here is your child.
It looks like he has since gotten that tattoo crossed out since he's confirmed not to be that father, and that's a choice. It was also a choice to get the tattoo before getting a paternity test. I think before any child support was given, I think a paternity test could have been an option then before you fork over 10K. It's not like he was helping her out with some bills or something, whatever that would have amounted to for child support. 10K is an interesting number. I don't see any reason, even if she was on Facebook, it looks like it was only on Facebook from what I've seen and the updates that I've seen. That does not constitute jumping to the internet with your drama involving a child, especially when you're not the father, because now you look like a creep. It's giving creep. It's really fucking weird. Not that you can never talk about it, but I would not direct attention to her because she is connected to the child. She carried the child. It's at least definitely hers and somebody else's, but I think that's wrong. And I think you could have talked about it in a different way that Brett is not going to be watching my video, but I think you could have talked about it in a different and more protective way and not shown the child at all because it's not his, right? So I think that's really odd. There was a commenter in the comment sections for someone who voiced their opinion on the situation. So I am not saying this is the case, but it's something to consider that Brett is 27 and his new girlfriend is 32. That is Nurse Hadley. And said, meet my 32-year-old single mother of 3 kids and newly divorced girlfriend, Nurse Hadley. And another commenter said on another video, said, yeah, still calling BS. To get child support in Mississippi, paternity has to be established. Signing a birth certificate doesn't work. So DNA would have had to be established. Math ain't mathing. I'm assuming that's because they didn't go through the court, if we're going off of what this commenter is saying and what Brett said himself in the video. I'm assuming that means she filed for child support and maybe they settled out of court a child support amount, or if he's just plain old lying. And someone says if he accepts paternity, he will be put on child support without a DNA test. He signed the birth certificate based on lies. He shouldn't be responsible. It doesn't matter if he was there. Yeah, absolutely. If there's no paternity test and you're not dating this woman, you're not married to this woman, what are you doing? Not protecting yourself or your interests, that's for sure. Not following the agreement in a serious capacity, that's for sure. Also, there was an update video, and another commenter said he was finally served papers and was forced by her attorney to remove them. And amen for that, because I think it was disgusting that he posted that. And again, I'm going to be blurring out her name, the parts where her and or the child are in it, because I do not think it's appropriate to go find those people. They never should have been in the spotlight. And I think it's really important to expose people who act like this, even when there's a child involved. We're not really getting into that part, because I do not think people should be pursuing that. But I think it is important to call out piss poor behavior, especially when it involves a child, especially when you run to the internet and point people towards who to go find and it involves a child, even if it's not yours. Do you have no sense of protection at all? None, no skills. You just blurt out the kid's face. That's it. Not wise, not smart. So I'm glad to see if that's true that he was served papers. I did not see that. He has since taken the video down. I think there is only a video on Nurse Hadley's page and his page talking about reading comments. But what did you guys think about this situation? I'm gonna let you guys know right now, it is not gonna be the open sphere of commentary that I usually allow for, because it is a very sticky situation. So I will be monitoring comments. Like if you start going like anti-woman, anti-mother, anti-protecting children in my comment section, your comment will be deleted. If you go on a rant about how men shouldn't be paying child support, your comment will be deleted. I'm gonna let you guys know that right now. But if you have good commentary, worthy commentary for the class that you think will be accepted by this one is going to be a dictatorship, leave that down below. And if you super like this video, share it with your besties, and make sure you are subscribed so you get to see all of my videos. Thank you guys again, and I will see you in the next one.